schools are. I'll be at the door. All right. We'll see you.
instruments this August and September, and they are excited to share some music with you. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the Beginner Band. So this band, again, it just 4 or 5 months ago didn't even know how to put their instruments together, let alone make a sound on them, let alone make music on them. The next few songs that we're going to play are the beginning stages that they learn, not just to play different notes and play to make a song, but then we add a level of difficulty. We make them play music with other people at the same time. I know, it's as tough as it sounds. Throughout this, though, as we start to progress, we'll start to add in more and more skills, and you'll start to hear that too. We do some part playing for you too. I hope that you start to realize that playing in band is a whole lot more than just learning some musical skills. They're learning how to work together as a team in all that they do today. So please enjoy this next set of 3 songs. It's listed for you in your program. forms of part playing. This first song is called a musical round, also known as a canon. Sorry, not the 1812 kind of canon. A canon is a musical round, so you'll hear one group of the band start to play, and then a second group of the band will join in at the beginning of the song after everyone starts to play, and it creates harmony, two different notes being played at the same time. So again, remember how tricky it was when we said, we don't just play music, we play music together? Now we play music, but at different times too. We're up in the ante here a little bit. After that, we'll play some duet songs where there are different groups of instruments are playing at the same time. And then finally, for our last song, you'll even get to hear some individual musicians. They've been playing for 4 months. And some of them are brave enough that they're going to play a solo for you here tonight. So enjoy those skills as you hear them in our next 3 songs. behind me is the Cadet Band. These are students who've all been playing their instrument for at least 1 year. Some of the 8th graders have been playing for as many as 4 years already. The first song we're going to play today is called Dark Beginnings by Randall Standridge, and it's an homage to all those first year beginner band songs, Hot Cross Buns, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Ba Ba Black Sheep, and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, except it's all in a minor mode. If you don't know music theory, that's okay. Minor just sounds really dark, whereas most of those songs tend to sound happy in nature. These are going to sound menacing and foreboding. So put your seatbelts on and strap in for Dark Beginnings. Every teacher knows that sometimes there's some content in your class that you teach and the students kind of scratch their head and they say, why do we have to learn this? Any teachers in the audience tonight? You know what I'm talking about. As a band director, every now and then we find a song that sounds really, really cool, but half the band has to count about a bajillion rests for it. It just doesn't sound very interesting from their perspective, right? This song is not one of those. Groovy by Richard Saucedo features every single instrument section in the band, including the percussion, and gives them a little time to shine. So I would encourage you, really stretch your listening skills and see if you can hear all these times in the band where different instrument groups bop around and get to play this groovy melody or groovy jams throughout the song. Here is Groovy. Christmas hymn is that piece for those of you Christmas lovers here in the room. This is based on the hymn tune Away in a Manger. What makes this interesting though is Away in a Manger usually has 3 beats to the melody. Feels nice and flowing. This one actually has been changed so it's all in 4 beats to the measure. It's a little tricky for us to get out of our heads and what we're used to hearing and to play something new and different for you. So please enjoy A Christmas Hymn by Robert W. Smith. harder to play slowly than it is to play fast. I had the privilege of playing in a band back in Florida with the Army Field Band director. He was retired at the time, but he had directed that band for years, and he came in front of us as an adult ensemble and said the same thing. So you know, if the Army Field Band director says it's a tough thing to do, what they just did was really tough, and they played a really nice job on that song. Our last song for the set for this band, though, is not slow, not even a little bit. Squirrel Chase is a kind of march that's called a gallop. You know what kinds of animals gallop, right? The really fast ones. You can tell that they're doing a great job with the tempo if they can get me to go from directing in 2, which looks like this, to directing in 1, because that means that my arms got way too tired to direct in 2. So look for that. And here in Squirrel Chase, don't miss the squirrel. We'll have about 5 minutes of a break right now while we switch from the Cadet Band to the high school band setup. During the break, a free will offering will be collected that supports education programs here at Winnebago Lutheran Academy. And that would be a good time to stretch your legs or use the facilities if you need to do so. We'll be back in 5. Oh, listen for the tuning note. When you hear the Viking Band play the tuning note, that means we're ready to go, so make sure you're back in your seats by then. based on the tune Lasso Surfroin. You may recognize it, usually from the Ascension season of the church here. Why not play it in one grand concert? It's a great piece. Our next song bears a little bit of introduction. American Big Top by Brian Balmages is a type of circus march. Circus marches tend to be fast and quirky, fun, and energetic. This one's a little bit different though. You're going to hear a lot of American tunes in it thrown in. There's Stars and Stripes Forever, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Yankee Doodle Boy, Yankee Doodle, the Star Spangled Banner, The Entertainers, Saber and the Spurs. You might even hear other things in there. This song just kind of gives you like a little peck of one melody, and all of a sudden there's a peck of another melody. If you want to test your ear and see if you can pick a bunch of them out, just look at the groups that I'm cueing, and that might help you hear some of those different melodies a little bit better. The other challenge I have for you is, as a march, this one's pretty hard to march to. It has a bunch of random measures in here where there's like half of the beat. So seriously, even if you don't know anything about music, that's fine. Try tapping your foot along with the song. You'll find before too long you're not really tapping on the beat anymore. They're not playing it wrong. They play this very, very well. That's just the music is trying to trick you about where the beat is. So have fun, enjoy this music. It sounds weird on purpose, I promise. Here is American Big Top. wanted to share it all with you up there in the bleachers. You're gonna have to permit me a moment though, because there's a story that goes with this song. Fall concert people, we all right? We can listen to the story one more time? Thank you for being so generous. You didn't have a choice. This is an American song. It's written by an American composer, but it was written to commemorate some history that happened in Japan at the end of World War II. Have you all studied World War II yet in history classes? All right, great. You're about to learn something here today. So in Japanese culture, the katana is a sword, but it's much more than just a sword or just a weapon. These were family heirlooms. These are family heirlooms. They're also beautiful, prized art. Here's the story of the Hanjo Masamune, which is a very important sword in Japanese history. It was forged by a master swordsmith, Masamune, hundreds of years ago. I forget the date off the top of my head, but at least 5, if not 600 or more years ago. It was won in battle, and after that point, it was passed down from leader to leader in Japan. Whoever had a Hanjo Masamune was known to have the right to rule in Japan. It was a symbol of power. It passed not only from leader to leader, it passed from dynasty to dynasty. At the end of World War II, when American troops came in, they demilitarized all of Japan. No one was allowed to form an army, no one was allowed to have weapons, which included not only firearms, but swords like katanas as well. As you can imagine, these precious family heirlooms, they were very difficult for many Japanese families to just give them up. And many families resisted at first. And so at that time, the noble family that was owner of the Hanjo Masamune at the time, they surrendered the Masamune to American forces at the time as a show of good faith to say, hey, Japanese families, if we can give up this prized artifact, you can give up your family heirlooms too. And so it was surrendered in the name of peace. We don't actually know where the Hanjo Masamune is today. Most of the swords that were taken at the time were melted down and turned into automobile wheels. Some of them were cast into the ocean. Some were preserved. It's possible if you had like a great uncle or grandfather who was in Japan during World War II, maybe it's in someone's attic somewhere. Who knows? We don't know where the Masamune is, the Hanjo Masamune is anymore, but if it could be located, it would certainly be a treasure worth reclaiming for the Japanese people. So, without further ado, please enjoy the legend of the Hanjo. Do you want to see it? This is not the Hanjo. This is like a fake sword. I'll show it to you. happen without the help of those people. I also wanted to give a shout out to a couple groups of people in here. I don't know all of your names, so I'm just going to generally say it first. To the parents and chauffeurs of freshmen and those high school students who aren't old enough to drive to the pep band performances quite yet, you're the real MVPs out there. And for those of you who will be those parents, or were those parents once, thanks in advance, or thanks retroactively, whichever one. The other big shout out I wanted to give is thank you to those of you parents, grandparents in the room who maybe you weren't a band person when you were going through school, and all this that just happened up here is kind of foreign to you today. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting your children's music education. My parents actually were not band people at all, and somehow I grew up to be a bander. I don't really know how it works, but we're really grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here tonight. Just as a general word, after our last song, we're going to get all of this cleaned up. This didn't get here by itself and it won't get picked up by itself either. So if you're able-bodied and you can spend an extra 10 minutes after the concert helping out, all these chairs need to be wrapped up. All this stuff needs to go back to the band. We greatly appreciate that. The last number on the program barely needs an introduction. You will certainly recognize Sleigh Ride by Leroy Anderson. Please join us out here again soon. There's a number of events coming up, both community and WLA music events. Make sure you check that out, see what's going on here. Merry Christmas to you all. We'll see a bunch of you here again for the WLA Christmas concerts.